High Prairie traditional powwow. And discussion. Councillor Carrier.
Make a motion that council approve the attendance of the mayor or designate at the High Prairie Traditional Powwow on Saturday, May 23rd, 2015 at the Sports Palace for the opening ceremonies to provide a few words of welcome and that a flag be provided from the town of High Prairie.
Discussion. Mayor Cox.
I won't be here on the 23rd, so we'll have to figure a different person. However, the letter I received, see the letter here, it said that there were 2 grand entries.
There was, yeah, 2 times during the day.
You have to, or else 2 people, 2 different people.
Yeah.
They didn't care, but there's 2 entries. Grand entry at 1 and at 6.
Councillor. Mayor. Deputy Mayor Tanaka.
I read the letter and I was a little confused because it said, please supply a person for all grand entry, so I was confused if there was more than the 2 that they had said on there. So, I will be attending that, and I will get a hold of Kim since she was the one that sent the letter. Expressing, letting her know that I will be the one, and just getting a little bit more information of how long the speech and that kind of stuff.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Carried. And last is the invitation for Danielle Larrabee to be a scheduled delegation. Councillor Edmonton.
I'd like to make a motion that council direct administration to contact our new MLA, Danielle Larrabee, and find what date works for her to attend a regular council meeting as a special delegate.
Mayor Cox.
I would hope that she comes in June rather than May 26th because I will not be here. And 2, I have contacted her by phone the day after the election and congratulated her on her winning of the seat for the Lesser Slave Lake constituency, and said that we would be in contact with her because the New Democratic Party had 2 planks of their platform. One was education and one was health, and those were both high priorities for the town of High Prairie. I also phoned the Wild Rose candidate and commiserated with him over his loss, and that was from as the mayor of the town of High Prairie. And at the graduation ceremonies, I spoke with Pearl and also extended my commiserations on that.
Any further discussion?
Can you just
So-
read that?
Would we be happy with or satisfied with a friendly amendment rather than have it held on May 26th?
He didn't make a motion.
I didn't say that. I said that council directs administration to find out and to talk with her about setting up a date.
What date would work with her?
That's right, we can't tell her you can be here this day. We're working together.
Yes, we are. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Good night, Richard.
Good night, Trevor.
I always call him Trevor. I mean, quit. I mixed up. I'm about to go home.
I'd like to make a motion that we direct administration to bring back some options of for Pearl Callahason, former MLA of Lesser Slave Lake constituency, to acknowledge Pearl Callahason's extended service as an MLA of Lesser Slave Lake.
4 years. discussions? None? We'll see how creative our CAO is. All those in favor? Carried. And we are now on to 5F, Community Services, National Health Day, page 61.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that council supports the National Health and Fitness Day resolution and proclaims the first Saturday in June to be National Health and Fitness Day, and the administration send a copy of this resolution to the office of MP Weston, who has introduced the National Health and Fitness Day private members bill.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. And on to the CAO reports. Can we pass it over to our CAO?
Any questions on Kelly's report?
Could you tell us about Warren Powers and Associates? Their tax open house, are they in agreement?
They are.
So that's-
I still have a phone call into Warren about some other issues. Said they would be here. Now I'll check and confirm for sure. Again, our summer student that we have hired in the office is very good. She's a third-year student, business administration student. And she knows her P's and Q's in her business.
Good.
It's very good. I know without a treasurer, she set up a tracking unit for the construction stuff, so we don't go over budget, which Vern had asked the previous treasurer to do, but she's already got it in place already, so
Great.
it's working well.
Any other discussions? Any other questions? Don, Council?
Killings action list 264/15. Sports Complex Society to the next regular council meeting on April 28th. Do we know if that's been rescheduled to another point when they can make it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to check it.
I tried contacting him again and he didn't reply back. I tried contacting him, he didn't reply back.
We should be doing David Brooks.
Dave Brooks.
Any other questions? Seeing none?
Just
Oh,
one more.
sorry.
Are you going to be able to sort of follow through on the budget highlight package that Kelly was going to try to instrument her to put in the paper? Because that's sort of timely.
Do you have a sample of it?
I don't know.
Brian had a sample, right?
Yeah, give it to your girl.
Because
She'll
maybe
love
she could
that.
provide that, yeah.
Okay.
Just, that's 25115. If you don't have the example, we can provide that.
Okay. You said Ryan has a copy?
Yeah. And if you've got somebody here, I don't think it's a very difficult thing to prepare, and it would be good to get that
Mhm.
still going.
Okay. Okay.
Mayor Cox.
I remember signing a letter of gratitude to Mrs. Simon, Ms. Stout, 293/17, page 87. 67.
I didn't write a letter. The letter was done, but I can't remember if I did it.
Oh, it was done, was it?
Yeah.
Possibly I signed it, okay.
sure.
There was also, one came to Public Works as well as Councilor Carrier's motion. It came to us as well. I think, Kelly actually signed it.
Oh, okay.
We'll check.
That was the, yeah.
I would think it was if it was completed in there, but I'll check.
Motion to accept. All those in favor? Carried.
Did you get a motion to accept?
No, no one made a
I'll make that
motion.
motion.
Okay.
I'm sure I heard the mayor say. Oops. And on to 8, I guess, written verbal reports. Or check listings were there for information, correct? Okay. Council carried.
Make a motion that council receive the check listing for council for April 15th to the April 28th for 2015 for information.
All discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried.
Don't have any discussion here,
I know, here's my way, it's like on and on. No. And, written verbal reports.
You can see my mayor's report with the 3 meetings that I attended. I move that I receive my report for information.
Any questions, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Thank you very much, Mayor Cox. And Council Carrier?
None of my committees met, so I have no report.
And Councilor Tanaka?
Report is part of the, agenda, and my report for information.
Discussions, questions? Seeing none. Again, thank you ever so much, Councilor Tanaka. Councilor Epter?
You vote on it?
Oh, wait. All those in favor? Councilor Epter?
I have no report to give at this time.
And I have no report to give for this time. Councilor Bernak's not here. Councilor Rose?
I had sent a report to Kelly, but it's not in the agenda, so I'll provide it again next time. I know he struggled with receiving some of my emails, opening the files for some reason, so maybe that's what ended up happening. And all I was going to provide over and above, and I'll leave it with you guys, is the executive summary from the regional water feasibility study that I went to at the MD office. So without it, I don't really, I won't go through all the rest of the detail, but you guys can take a look at this and what was sort of, you have a copy of the whole report?
And I have.
And did you go? You did. So more or less just the gist of what came from that meeting. And thank you very much from Vern. I was texting him like crazy because as I was sitting at the meeting, I wasn't really understanding all of the options. So he ran from one meeting to another to help out and to sort of have a few comments on what was going on at that presentation. Have the opportunity to talk to the presenters. And they had indicated more or less that a feasible option for High Prairie is to consider a joint water system with EMD and to use the lake as a water source and not the river. They talked about some potential pitfalls with the river, which we're already aware of. And they looked at a system that would have High Prairie and Gruart be the water, sort of the treatment plants, and explored the ideas of Jussard and Foss and the cost of operations there, and looking at maybe shutting down those water plants, taking water from, or supplying water from Gruart water station or water plant to do the Big Meadow area, taking the pressure off a little bit of High Prairie, and increasing the life of the plant as it stands. Actually, the report gave a very good overview of our water treatment facilities, and we probably had the longest life, or is that correct? Of all of the facilities in the area. So.
Mr. Rock?
Can I just add to Debbie's, Councillor Rose's, comments, is that what they would like to do is have High Prairie produce water still, and then have Burrard produce as well, that way they're not dependent upon one single plant. There's High Prairie producing and Burrard producing, so if High Prairie goes down, then the water would just flow backwards back in High Prairie to a distribution system. And also have Burrard supply down the lake, to Juicard and Fosta, as Councilor Rose has said. That seemed to be the option that they wanted to proceed with.
So what's the next step that they will do?
From what I understand, it will be coming up at the intermunicipal, for discussion. The next day.
They're bringing it to the intermunicipal.
That's
Convention,
the
yeah.
way I took it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They wanted some sort of commitment or at least some interest from the town. The town's a fairly big player in this process, and then they're looking at options to tap or have First Nation communities along the way be able to have the ability to tap in. Some are really needy of water. Some have got their own systems and they've spent a lot of money, so they don't want to make a decision going forward that has to draw all the partners in. They like to have some key partners, and I mean, and we're one of the more important partners at this point to make those decisions to start there's phases, and I think that maybe in this executive summary, and they're looking at, do phase 1, phase 2 involves, I think, Hilliard's Bay Estates, so but the costs have to be able to fall on Hilliard's Bay and the park or the landowners up there, so so it's not just this is what we're gonna do and it's gonna cost, all this money. There's a process of starting here and then allowing some other ways to have other areas sort of tap into the system, because prior to this, I think did you guys sit down and talk about one system with all the buy-in?
Yeah.
And then that was too complicated, and
As well, they want to make provisions for Big Prairie and Piedmont to be able to tie on as well, as part of this phase 1 project there.
so that's my report.
I just have a question. Did you two attend the meeting at the MD office this morning?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I'm sorry I couldn't make it, but it's a busy here, so.
Was-
And do you want to report on that, or should we just put that in a report?
I can do that in the next one.
Yeah. I think it was a meet and greet, just a discussion, blue sky discussion.
Okay.
It'll come up in the next.
But just for everybody, ultimately what we need to be concerned with is that if we don't do something, we may see a decreased presence of Northern Lights College in our area and not necessarily an increase. Like right now, we're not exactly on the radar screen for a new building. And they're pulling out of Toko, so that's done at the end of June. So
No.
their presence, yeah.
They said that they were exploring options to keep it there a little bit longer.
But Toko will be done, yeah, at the end of June. They won't be.
Not necessarily. He said they will be looking, that Ann is exploring options.
Well, and Anne said at the LSLEA
Yes.
meeting as well, they are pulling out of Toko. So I mean,
Okay.
it's unlikely that.
There was
don't
two
we have-
things going on. One is that the two the CEOs of the school divisions are meeting with Ann, and that has been confirmed and is scheduled to discuss what are they wanted to get to. And at the end of the meeting, the next step is in June. Ken Matthews and myself will meet with the chairs of the two school divisions. So,
I have missed a few meetings this spring already, but I know that we had an invitation for the president of NLC. Was she here already?
he only came to the the president. The president is Ann Everett.
Yes.
No,
She.
Ann has not come to this council.
But we gave her an invitation. She
She
declined.
was scheduled at one of our meetings, but she
Canceled.
had to back out for some reason and has never been rescheduled.
We can schedule again.
I'd like to see what it's gonna take to get a campus here.
I don't think that meeting will help you with that, with finding that out. I think that the meeting today was sort of, a first step
Might be
into
too
the
formal
opportunity.
also.
Kind of like that we have to sort of find out what the needs are. Maybe what Mayor Cox was just saying, that the meeting between the two chairs, or
Chairs.
three, Northern Lakes
Oh,
Highbury
those.
School Division.
The administrators are meeting.
Right, that may help, because what they really need, and what's what Dan said today, what we're proposing really is to use the hospital site for a college. Have the Highbury School Division.
Trades college, right?
College.
Yeah.
Have the Highbury School Division, which their top priority right now is a rebuild or a refurbishing, or what was the term today? Of
Modernization.
Modernization of the high school. They're opting, well, we don't know, but we're hearing that they may be opting to not modernize and to hang on and hope to rebuild the school. And if they can rebuild the school in conjunction with a college, put that on the site of the hospital. We've talked to the Holy Family Catholic School about their opportunity to be part of that, and we've talked about, at intermunicipal, about, well, maybe then there's something to do with the library, have the town library be sort of one library that all school divisions get to use, maybe a shared gym, some shared resources, but you need to get advanced education, and there's just too many, there's a lot of things that need to line out. But there's a lot of discussion going on right now. But if we sort of drive it, and that's sort of what we're doing with intermunicipal, is driving some of these meetings, putting the players at the table before they make decisions to spend dollars elsewhere, because we did hear that there's with Toco, sort of that opportunity here closing down, they're looking at an amalgamation right now at Slave Lake and putting some more dollars into that college there.
They're also looking, at this meeting this morning, they discussed the IA labs at EW Pratt and the usage of those, because when they have to pull on a telco, they'll be going there. So there's partnerships there that they're looking at also.
Did they give a reason why they'd be pulling out of Toco?
No funding, it's a pilot project.
Mhm.
The pilot projects always end up with no funding.
It sounds like it was actually very expensive. That was the undertone. What they were being charged for rent and what they had to pay for utilities.
Oh.
Did we have the vote on
We have
Councilor
not.
Roses?
So,
It ended.
No, we haven't had a
Did that
vote to
answer your
accept.
question, Brian?
Except
We haven't, the motion was made, but there was no vote.
that's correct. So, motion to accept Councilor Rose's report. Carried.
Now the meeting's over, I'll give you this piece
This
of
meeting
paper.
is adjourned at 5
This
minutes
is,
to 9.
That's unbelievable.
It's just the